The last session was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were still in... Well, I guess we don't really know exactly where we were, but we were in some dimension wherein Dragon Boy was dead. Niv Mizzet was dead. We fought Tezzeret. We had just finished exploring the tower somewhat, and come to the conclusion that this was something that we needed some specialists to help with. We ended up going back with Nim. We found her in, like, it sounded like a cave or a tunnel somewhere, talking to someone. It turns out she was scrying to her friend. She came with us back through Ravnica, in order to plane, or not planeswalk, but plane shift or whatever we ended up doing. But I think before we left, didn't Cordelia talk to Ilharg, I believe?
Yep.
Yep. And she got kind of the rundown from Ilharg about, yeah, whole world's fucked, don't bother, everything's coming to an end, come find me in your world and I'll show you, type of a deal. Which, it seemed like Cordelia was like, oh yeah, I really want to do that, but also I also kind of don't really believe that that's true, so that's interesting. Yeah, we got back, we
took the Stargate.
We took the Stargate, and ended up underground where we had been before, outside of, well, we were in the, I always want to say Underdark, but it's the Undercity, in a place that we had been before. It was right outside of the sort of sub-city, I guess, of the, whatchamacallits, why can't I remember their name? The Golgari. Golgari, yes. And the guards there thought it was very strange to see us. One of them had seen us before, decided to play a little prank and tell us that it was like 3 months past the day that it really was. We'd only been gone for like a day or two, which seemed actually to match up pretty closely. Maybe not identically, but pretty closely to the time that we should have expected to be gone. So that was something. And then we picked on Ozra for a while for not telling us all that she was engaged and had proposed and was living with her fiance, and that Mirai had paid for all of it. So yeah, we
we gave one wisdom.
The sugar daddy in
yeah.
this relationship.
Yeah, so we gave her some shit for that, and then everybody kind of went their separate ways at the end of the session, I think, to kind of, like, work on getting their own things in order, before reconvening to get moving on this problem of that world essentially being slowly destroyed. Other notable things.
Didn't we go to Boss Lady?
Did we go to Lavinia?
I don't think we got around to it.
I don't think we got around to it yet.
That was like the plan. You were you were going to Lavinia.
Yeah, we were gonna go to
For
Lavinia.
some
That's right.
reason, the one thing stands out that I thought we were definitely talking to Lavinia because Nim and Kalista were making waffle towers.
Oh, you're right. There were the waffle towers. That's right. We must have talked to Lavinia.
Yeah, I also remember we ended with Julia being like, "Oh shit, my boyfriend's not."
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were gonna make me uncrazy, but then we realized that we probably couldn't, so we're just
right.
Like,
we have to wait for the Moonlit King. Yeah, and then and then Kalista was taking Nim to the sewer to have her find somewhere that she could swim around in because she was basically exposing herself in public in a fountain, and we decided, okay, this poor creature needs more water than we're able to provide in the puddle, so let's do that.
Yeah, so Callista was going to put her in the sewer.
Yes. Where she could clean up the water, because I asked her many times if she could clean up water, because it was kind of gross.
So, where is everyone at this given time?
I mean, I would have definitely gone right away to put Nim somewhere more comfortable, hopefully. Obviously not gonna push her into the muck, but if she can, if it works for her, great. Otherwise, we can find another solution. We can find a pool somewhere or something, some way to make that work. But I think getting her somewhere that she can live and not be in constant discomfort would be good. For my part.
Yeah, and that's what's important, looking out for number one. Mirai?
Might actually, since we were just like going to sleep essentially, I might go crash with Mom. I meant to like talk with her anyway. And like, I think after you just get stuck in a strange dimension with some guy doing weird experiments on you and learn that the world's like even more screwed than you thought, sometimes you just need your mom.
Yeah.
So.
And Cordelia?
Was there a date on the letter that Demetrius left?
Yeah, I think it was. It was like dated 3 days ago, like the day after you left.
Oh, shit.
He got a concern.
Yeah, and then he just decided, I'm doing a search for you. I'm not going to leave coordinates for where to find me if you return. I'm just gonna let you know I'm doing it.
And Talon?
Probably after being, like, just getting back from that weird ass dimension, just, if nothing's on the plan for the group, just get home to Precinct 3, to the family, and chillax, because still feeling the pain of those mirrors.
That is valid. Well, y'all can push a long rest though.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Wait, oh yeah, and we leveled, so now we're
11.
Yes!
Ain't life grand?
Life is grand. Shit, I forgot if I actually... Oh god, no, I probably didn't do my HP. Oh.
Well, remember, it got reduced by a little bit.
Oh yeah, but it's back now. I think so.
No?
Oh.
You need great restoration.
Oh! Okay, well, I'm just gonna put that minus 20 back.
So, Callista.
Yeah.
Nim seems quite doubtful about the whole living in the sewers. Her main concerns are the lack of plant and wildlife and sunshine. She is a creature of nature.
Well, it is supposed to be temporary.
me a persuasion.
I will show her some secret plans as well regarding the apartment above the library. And I will show her that it includes much plant life and that it includes a pool, and she would be welcome to stay there once it's finished, if it even takes us that long. But in the meantime, I can always find animals. I can go and get cats and things like that easily. And there are rats
and
also.
rats.
Yes. And bats. Yeah.
Oh
Cats,
my.
rats,
That's
bats.
them bad.
And I will bring those down all together and release them. And then I mean, I would swing by a florist and bring a bunch of flowers and things that, yeah. It'll look just as good as her last house. For sure.
Roll me a religion.
Yes.
Okay. You can see that she's like doubtful, but your claims that it's just for right now. Like, we just need to make sure that it's safe, and then everything's going to be hunky dory. Seems to have swayed her temporarily.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, I will be working on making that better. It's just like, you bring a fish home and the fish bowl isn't what they're used
Big
to.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now the what's it called? Sewer tunnels next to Callista's home base is also like a nest of like alley cats, rats,
Yes.
and a bat colony.
Sewer cats.
And like the water is now somehow filled with like a lot of plant material.
Yes.
Algae. Talon,
Yes.
what would you like to do?
Remind me, did we decide to take days off, or are we actually convening today? Because of that part I missed.
I think you were going to convene today because like there were plans to explore the Izzet situation and see, like, you'd figured out that there's some kind of like link between where you were and Nivix,
Right.
and the ley lines, and you were planning on investigating that, I believe.
Yeah. Good thing we have our Izzet Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows a ley line expert?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's wonderful. But I wouldn't do anything special, admittedly. Just nice, slow morning. Wake up. Go for a run. Get back. Then
Eat
decide.
your porridge with
Yes,
fresh
exactly.
berries.
Exactly. Good, healthy food before heading out to meet with the rest. If they're eating up, yeah, I don't know.
Cordelia,
Yeah.
what are you up to this morning?
So I feel like Delia would be up fairly early. More concerned that Demetrius never came back.
Mm-hmm.
So she would leave her own note with meet at Caldera. Probably with like a time of like noon. I will be there whenever possible at this time, and just leave that wherever she thinks that it would be most visible for him. Because she would probably be up earlier, she would try to stop by the Caldera.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if, maybe he's back in that shitty fucking hotel room.
Yeah, and you can make it to the Caldera around the time it opens, which is like around 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's like that first breakfast rush of like people picking up a plate before heading into work. And there's a couple of people there. The hustle and bustle. None of the regulars are up yet, but there's a couple of like familiar, like you've been to the Caldera enough that there's familiar faces.
Right.
And you see Kairos behind the bar.
And she would, walk up. Hey, Kairos. How you been?
Good. I haven't seen you in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic with my work. Hey, do you know where my friend is that I came to visit?
The Orzov boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was here a day and a half ago asking after you.
Oh, that's not good. Did he say where he was going next?
Yeah. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Let me check. And he like pulls out, like, there's, whenever someone leaves a note and he like jots it down, and it's basically just like a bunch of crumpled receipts, and he's like, nope, nope, nope. Oh, yes, here we go. And he hands you a note.
Thank you. She'll read it right there.
Cordelia. I have been called away on urgent business. I will contact you as soon as I am able.
Oh. That doesn't sound like him, does it?
No, not really.
Kairos, did he seem okay? Or was he a little,
I mean, he seemed fine. Like a young boy. I mean, that's like what? 2 lines, and he spent like 15 minutes writing it, so. Young love. And he gives that eye roll that is like, it's adorable and I hate it.
Well, thank you, Kairos. I really appreciate it. I miss your food. I almost said meat.
Well, if you're hungry, we're open.
Oh, thanks. It's always nice to see ya. I gotta run to a business.
Tell your friends to drop by.
Oh, I absolutely will. And she's gonna try her best not to run out the door, keeping the letter super, super close.
Yeah. I mean, you draw attention to yourself because you're a Boros. But not, no one's suspicious.
No more than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just gonna head to meet up with everybody to hopefully get help.
Mirai.
I think I just have a wholesome breakfast with
Mom?
mom, catch up to speed, and then head to the caldera.
Yeah, your mom is like she's not stupid. Like something's off with you. Mainly the fact that you grew a lot of annoying that day. With a lot of like, you wouldn't understand that I'm the greatest wizard that ever lived. And she keeps like, do you have a fever? Like, did you get knocked over the head? Like, there's obviously like, I could take the day off work. Like, we could go see a healer. Like, we have excellent healers in Celestia.
Mariah would probably just be like, well, I did trade my sanity to a fae. But it's fine, I don't need it.
Well, I could speak to some of the healers here, make an appointment for you. We could go see them together. They might be able to fix it. It's good to have options.
I mean, if that would make you feel better.
It would, so much better.
All right.
Why don't you wait here and I'll go make arrangements?
Okay, but I'll teleport out of any padded rooms.
Oh, of course. Like, there wouldn't be any padded rooms, she says, and she backs up towards the door, keeping her eyes on you at any given time, and you hear the door slam and, like, lock.
This is fine.
And I assume everyone is making their way towards the hideout.
Yes.
Yes.
And Mirai's like sitting
Yes.
there drinking her coffee, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, we were meeting up at the hideout."
We'll put a pin in this getting healed.
Yeah. Dear Mom, had to run an errand, be back soon. And then like
XOXO.
lipstick imprint.
I'll drop you a sending in a couple hours.
But yes, the party can reconvene in Kalisa's basement. Can I get perception checks from everyone that isn't Kalisa?
Perception.
Oh, that's right. I have no wisdom.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you. Oh shit, I have advantage plus on. Why do I do that? There we go. Ah.
Yeah. Seems fine.
Fuck.
Seems fine. Talon. The path is a little bit slippery. As it's like
Oh.
when you're coming like up from the sewers, there's a lot of like algae and greenery growing,
Yeah.
and there is like an unhealthy amount of cats. No rats, but plenty of bats. Because cats and rats generally don't coexist very well.
No, they. Oh, they don't.
Cat.
Mariah was just walking next to Delta and just kept hearing these meows. And it's like, what is it, Delta? And Delta's just like, I didn't say anything. No, I'm quite sure you did.
Nuh-uh. Yeah, nuh-uh, yeah. And like that sort of like blocks out all the other cat and that stuff.
Mhm.
I feel the sanity of Callista at this point. But
I mean, I think we all know that Callista is the true villain of.
yeah, very true.
So y'all meet up in Callista's basement.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Hey, Callista. Actually, we all can put our heads together with this. So I think I told you guys about my boyfriend. But yeah, well, he's in danger. He kind of was looking for me, and then he got all weird at the caldera, and he left me this note. And it doesn't really sound like him, but Kyrus said he saw him write it. I don't know how to look at it.
What do you mean you don't know how to look at it?
And they, like, the word, there has to be under words. You know what I mean? Like words under the word.
No.
Like an illusory script.
Callista will take it and look at the back.
Give me a perception. There's nothing written on the back.
Well,
Callista, you do all the secret messagey stuff.
yeah, I mean, I sort of do, but it's a different type of a thing. It's like, Actually, can I check it and see if there's like... maybe there's like thieves' cant.
Give me an investigation.
Yeah, you're very persistent.
There's something. Like, if he sat down and wrote it and like had time, why does it look like a hastily written note? Like, the letters are quite big. There is something off about it.
There's definitely something that doesn't add up completely. It's not written in like a secret language that I know or anything, but I think just sort of applying the principles of thieves' cant, like, yeah, there's a pattern, but not so much like something specific. I think probably if we look down at it for a long enough time, we could probably figure out what it meant.
If Delia holds it like away from her face and does the thing where like you blur your vision to make it
See the 3D
not
image?
legible, is it like a map or an image or another?
Roll me an investigation.
Little magic drawing.
Nice.
The letters, they're like a bit shaky, and you're like focusing, and you're like, the letters are letters, tiny as. There's like, he's written a note, but the actual note is like, you need a magnifying glass.
She has one in her pocket. Just whips it right.
I'm prepared
As
for this
you
very
do.
moment.
I think everyone has that moment where you realize Kalista probably has it to burn ants. And everyone's like, moving on. Why would Kalista have a magnifying glass? To start fires.
Yes.
Probably.
And yeah, it's like a little bit fiddly to read because like it's very small and very cramped, and you have to like rotate the note around the curve of the letters. But it reads, Cordelia, my love, I hope this letter finds you well and safe. District 10, well, Precinct 10, is no longer the safest, I fear. There is stirrings of new players in Precinct 6. I intend to investigate this, as they seem to be connected with the greater movements we have been observing of late. As soon as you return, please let me know that you are well. Love. And like he hasn't signed it, but he signed the actual note, and that's just his name, so
Right. Okay. Weird shit going on in Precinct 6 again.
What they say, what kind?
Political. So, like, you know how everybody has been, like, fighting over power everywhere? Precinct 6 has been doing that a lot, and it was starting to get violent. And I guess there's more people. You know, why do we have to solve all of Ravnica's problems? Why can't I just solve these problems?
Because if we do not solve Ravnica's problems, you cannot solve your own.
Yeah, listen to Talon. He's right.
Talon, I didn't even understand that. Can you use, like,
small words?
simple?
If we do not get Ravnica out of its predicament, we may lose what Ravnica is right now. And by that extension, you could die, your love could die, everything could go and become ash. Who knows? So, in the grand scheme of things, it would be better if we fix Ravnica. Since without Ravnica, you wouldn't have your problems.
But that's what I mean, like, I don't want those problems.
Well, problems are a part of life.
Maybe Ilharg was right.
You know, if everyone felt the way you do now, all of the time, then nothing would get solved, and Ravnica truly would be doomed.
You know, I'm solving a lot of things, Mirai. I don't appreciate that sentiment.
No, and you're
I
doing
forgive
well.
you.
And because you're doing well, I think you just need to focus on one thing at a time. Let the future be the future.
Okay, but like before we go to the smart people place, can I write it? I just want to write a letter and, you know, pop that in
I
the mail.
don't see why not.
Okay, cool.
Do you want me to put an illusory script on it so only Demetrius can read it?
Yes! Cool beans!
I'm gonna have to go run and get some ink real quick, but be right back. By the time you're done with that letter.
To everyone else, it just looks like a dear assistant. This is what I need. 2 ounces of red velvet. You know, it's a shop.
Looks like a crayon
No.
drawing of Ilharg.
Can we please have one of the items be lube? Please, Mirai.
Oh,
I don't see why not.
Yes, I love this new version of you.
I don't know what you mean. I'm the same person.
You are right. You are a great person.
When Mirai is like, I'm the same as everyone else, like exchanges looks behind their back. Like,
yup.
this is
No.
something that we need to deal with.
It's like she's not the same. She's better.
and worse.
No will to give my wisdom back.
Now, what would you like to do? Do you have a plan?
Tear down.
Nivix?
Yes. Sounds like a good place to start.
Tear it down? But why?
It's a very large building.
I'll just take a couple of tree ants. It's okay.
Well, okay, so we have been gone a few days. I think
Yes.
for sure I want to check in at Orzova, do a few little like work things just so that kind of maintain some cover of things are normal. Because disappearing for weeks at a time from your job is usually a way to like draw a lot of attention toward yourself. So I think trying to just maintain some normalcy would be a good idea. But apart from the regular day-to-day stuff, I think we should probably talk to, what was his name, the leyline guy.
Tip of my mind. Corin.
Yeah, should talk to him, and then or maybe, I guess I'd leave it up to Mirai. Just throw out the idea like we need to talk to somebody about this leyline business, and whether we talk to Corin first or we talk to people in Izzet, because we do need to resolve the Nim thing, and we also have coming up really soon, well, kind of soonish, within the next week or two probably, the Moonlit King showing up.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who currently has Mirai Sanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we go to rural territory, I'll look out for ill.
I mean, Corin is currently in Mirai's top secret lab. That's at least where Mirai put him.
Right. That's the last
Oh.
time I saw him.
Which is like half a mile north of Precinct 4. Like, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a jaunty walk through the Badlands.
It's barely in the Badlands.
Mariah, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but why did you take him out of his natural habitat?
Because I needed him for science.
So is he like trapped in a glass dome? Are you
No,
studying?
he probably goes and I don't know, does cruel things when I'm away. I didn't mean to be gone for this long.
You know,
Here, I'll message him.
me.
Corin, meet up at the lab. I need to talk ley lines. There, see, that wasn't so hard.
Takes you like 2 minutes to get a response. No problem. Wrapping up experiment 46B now.
Oh, that's good. I remember 46A. That's fine. So do you all want to come to my secret lab? It's kind of secret, but I mean, I get.
They
Okay.
are your minions, after all.
Yeah.
True. I mean, I tried to hire them and they kind of all fired themselves. So. But what are you gonna do? You can't find good assistants these days.
Good help is hard to find.
Hmm.
All right, let's just wander into the red waste and hopefully I remember the way.
And everyone is just filled with confidence at that.
Absolutely.
Easy. I'm not scared.
So, Callisto, are you going with, or are you like putting in like, oh look, I'm a good Orzhov person?
Well, what does the group think? Do you think that I would be useful there, or do you think that, like, where would you rather have me?
So
Because I'm fully willing to go along, but I don't know how much help I'll be.
I'm going to say that anytime we go anywhere, weird shit happens.
Yeah.
And extra input is always good. Also, the way we're currently set up with the Hall of the Guild Pact, the important people are already made aware that we have other assignments without being specific.
That's true. Then yeah, I'll go with. Like I said, just taking care of a couple errands, and then I'll meet up with them and head out.
Okay. This also might be an important hideout if the world ends, so good if you know where it is.
Oh, you're so sweet. You actually care about us.
Yeah, I mean, well, who will move my time machine if I don't have you guys? Anyway.
So, as you trot north, where your doom truly awaits, yeah, like you have time to like pick up supplies if you need anything. Like,
Mail the letter.
yeah,
Grab some shake dust just real quick.
and you find yourself outside a rather large boarded up building. This is like territory that the Gruul has gone through quite recently, and the wreckage is still quite fresh. The buildings are intact, like they haven't fallen back to nature yet. And Mirai navigates you to a building that seems to have been maybe a Simic outpost at the point in the not too distant history. It looks boarded up, but it turns out that, you know, there's still a door. It's just camouflaged in a way that it looks like it's been boarded shut, but then. And yeah, you find Goran.
Oh, Corin, long time no see.
I hope you're well.
Yeah, I just got kidnapped and thrown in this weird dimension. It's fine.
Doesn't sound fine.
I think I would have cared about it more if I still had my sanity, but I think it's gone, so it's fine.
Wait, what?
Well,
Where did it
yeah.
go?
A fairy king has it. But honestly, I think, once I lost it, I realized how little I needed it.
Yeah, there's like a lot of Corin looking at you guys like, are you guys hearing this? Like,
Yeah, sounds about the right.
We're planning on meeting with that guy again, like in a week, so we'll get it. Don't worry, all according to plan.
uh-huh.
Of course, that was a
Sure.
couple months in the past when he said that, theoretically.
No, because remember it only ended up being like couple weeks. Everyone's been telling us different days. They think it's funny.
Timey-wimey stuff. Well, do you have like any maps, plans? You said you wanted to ask about ley lines, like what?
Well, so in that dimension I got kidnapped in, right?
Mhm.
Turns out Niv Mizzet was burning up that whole dimension. He broke apart a ley line and he was sending all that energy into this dimension, into our Ravnica, and we're not sure where. But we're gonna start with Nivix. We also learned that the old dragon nudged a lot of ley lines under Nivix Tower to make use of. So we thought your expertise could come in real handy.
Well, let me see.
Are you able to tell where a ley line is?
Somewhat, yes.
So I mean, like,
Why is the map doing this? It's very annoying.
you think that you could trace it through the city?
Well, I've already mapped some of them.
Start.
I'm just drawing out the ones that he knows about.
Mhm.
I hate you so much. I hate this like new mousy rolly thingy.
What mousy rolly thingy?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
That when you move like it keeps, when I'm trying to shift my mouse, it keeps moving the map. Like the entire map.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
And I'm like, stop it. This is very annoying. Ah!
Wait, are you drawing it on the map layer?
No, I'm drawing it on the token there.
Yeah, that seems to check out.
I hate you so much. There we go. Can you see them?
Beans.
Yes.
These are just the major ones that I've mapped out. Most of them are fairly well known.
Certainly seems to match what we heard.
Of course, I don't think it was the nexus under Nivix that was necessarily the problem. Is that there might be some battery inside of Nivix getting all the energy from that ruptured ley line.
Can I get an intelligence check from everyone?
Intelligence, this is what we're best at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're super smart. I know.
Roll.
Yes, see? I am super
Respect.
smart. Oh. I'm almost as smart as a wizard.
Oh, I got a 20 on my important.
That's good. That's really good.
First time. Okay. So Talon.
Yes?
How many ley lines do you see?
Ley lines do I see? 1, 2. 4. Actually, 5. Nah, 4. Or depends if each of those are actually just one line or each going into Nivix is so. I mean, it could be 9.
But that would mean that one of the ley lines terminates inside Nivix.
Mhm.
Or originates inside Nivix. And that ley line leads to
Oh,
Precinct 6. That gaping maw where monsters and horrific creatures come out at night. Twisted abominations that seem not to belong in this world.
huh.
It is indeed strange.
I mean, honestly, ley lines is not my thing. But that is very strange.
I've been trying to find the lost ley line. That's mainly what my research has been focused on.
Ah, well. Suppose we may have found it then. It's just no longer.
There was one cut
Yeah.
where we were.
And Mirai, I think you know that the ley line that was cut was coming like it was running south to north and then cut at the tower.
Okay.
And Nim did mention that, like, at one point, all of the, like, the place she lived and Ravnica existed together, and whatever Niv-Mizzet did split them apart.
Does that
Hmm.
make any sense to you, Corin?
Feel like Cordy's just sitting there with like glazed eyes, making
Yep.
little doodles about Loverboy.
I should have just gotten the steak. I should have just stayed.
At the Caldera and gotten a beef dinner. Cordelia's like, meat. In both senses of the word.
So, Corin, does knowing that it's cut off in some other place, do you make any sense of that?
Well, there are theories that there are a multitude of universes that all exist in the same space. And that the ley lines that carry the magic is the constant that ties these worlds together. And by breaking off a ley line, you could potentially disturb that. But just the math required in the calculations of doing something so precisely, I mean, a millimeter off, and well, everything, the entire city would blow up. At least this half of the planet.
Do you think Niv-Mizzet was capable of making those kind of calculations?
I mean, he did have 10,000 years to do the math.
True.
If we had 10,000 years, imagine the math we could figure out.
I mean, never say never, but
Is this how smart people flirt?
Yes, it is.
and it's working. I'm right with
Hi.
I think you guys see what. I think I see what you guys mean about my lack of sanity. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean we would need 10,000 years to fix this?
Hopefully not.
I mean, he couldn't have done this spur of the moment. Like, there would need to be journals, notebooks, detailed plans, construction notes, whatever caused the rift.
I grabbed some of those journals, right?
Yeah.
I'll pull out one or two, but I'm like, this. It's not beyond me, but I haven't had time to decipher it yet.
Of course. How to put it? Like, you have you have a good understanding of physics. Like, to the point where you could probably explain string theory to a layperson.
Cool.
But this is like quantum entanglement math.
That's something.
With like monstrous moonshine and mirror symmetry. And like it's not beyond you. What you need is like 50 research assistants and a room that's covered in whiteboards. And like
That would be great. That's the dream, really.
yeah, a couple of weeks. And you might have a working understanding.
And that's if the research assistants are any good.
I mean, yes. Like, you figured out the Berkstein-Hawking formula, but like this math, like that was in the 1970s. Like math has progressed since then, and like you just need to catch up on like 600 years of math, and you'll be fine.
Is that all? So anyway, those are my hang-ups with it.
What would it be? Like, I wish Mirai had the skill called science. That she was
Right?
proficient in.
I guess we could make it one int science or something.
Yeah, I mean, just roll me an investigation. That's like
Okay. I'm proficient in this int. So. Here we go. Oh, that's disappointing. I'm feeling lucky. Damn it.
yeah. So like maybe 100 research assistants and 2 rooms full of whiteboards and the month.
Yeah.
So, all of this, does this, any of it mean that we're only closer to figuring out what to do? Because we don't really have 100 years to figure this out. What kind of action can we take from what we do now? Pretty much nothing.
We could ask
Well-
for Rawl's help in deciphering some of this. He could get us the researchers. He could get us the whiteboard room.
And
I
I think we
mean-
should do that.
Looking at it, this number seems to refer to some form of entropy. That is spreading from a surface area of, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's like a wound. In
Mhm.
the fabric of the universe. But this is very. I can get you an idea of what it is, but we're gonna need time. And he's like looking at Mara, like we're gonna need time to figure out how to heal it, if that's even possible.
Well, I think that we should probably get approval from somebody to start that work immediately, because the more time we waste not investigating it appropriately, the longer it will take to fix. We already know that we don't know much about it. It would be probably better to start maybe working with Nim. Maybe she can take people there to and from, if there's like a dedicated team to
Perhaps.
researching this.
At least get some accurate measurements.
Right.
Like, from what you've told me, if someone has sliced a ley line in half and is funneling the power from it, it would be incredibly volatile. And ideally, we would like to heal it and make it whole again. But if that isn't an option, the only other option might be to amputate it, to fully cleanse it out. Like, it would create an equilibrium. Well, a non-equilibrium. Which could potentially be able to break some fundamental laws of physics. Which is concerning.
It is. We would be the first to break the laws of physics, though, that we know of. That's kind of exciting.
It is. And terrifying, in equal measure. Like, there's always an equal and opposite reaction. Terrifying
we
and exciting.
Still blow up the 10th district.
It's like a live wire, and someone stripped it. And we don't
want to go
know.
touch it.
Yeah.
Well, we should bring Nim on this, see if she can get researchers on site. And I still think we should bring Raoul in on this, not the least of which because we fear he may be assassinated any day now.
Yeah, and do you know any other people that know so much like you do about ley lines? I mean, you must have learned it from someone. Is there a group of people that you trust that you could make a team out of?
I mean, druids.
I was kind of thinking something along the lines of Gruul that would know if they went there. Maybe they would be more in touch with the world there.
I think what's most concerning is Newton's fourth law. And from my map, we can already see the effect that it's having.
True.
And, like, looking at Cordelia, who's probably at this point, like, drooling from the side of her mouth. Newton's fourth law states that every point mass attracts every other point mass by a force acting along the line intersecting both points. And that force is proportional to the product of the two masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Which means the ley line that is open is acting like a magnet for all the other ley lines. Which has the potential of, if left undisturbed, could tear other ley lines.
And then if more and more of them tear, who knows,
We're
maybe some kind of
fooled.
ley line black hole
Oh,
where all magic just gets sucked into it.
well,
Mm,
we
that's
would be
fun.
the first ones to create a black hole then.
What's that?
Would we?
Oh,
It's when the world turns inside out, and so does everything on it.
So why don't we just blow it up?
Well, you're choosing between plague and cholera at that point. Like, if we blow it up, it will most likely take somewhere between 72 and 24.7% of the planet with it.
You know, I'm starting to believe the boar that it's just inevitable and maybe we should just do it.
If we could reconnect it and restore equilibrium, that would be the optimal outcome.
And we should try to put people on that.
yes.
How do we connect it? Do you have like magic ley line powers that you can just and do it?
I need to be much closer to it.
Okay, let's go.
You're gonna love Ulo.
Well, I do
So
think
you're-
that you should get a few people that are interested in doing something like that, and we can talk to Nim and see if she's willing to bring people to and from. And we're clearly not the experts that need to be dealing with this, but we can pass the discovery on to people who do know what to do. But I do think probably really important that we don't pick people that like to talk a whole lot, to brag about things, because it seems pretty serious and we don't want to cause a panic. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any friends that don't talk?
I mean, I can send out some feelers. See who would be. Where would we need to go?
don't worry about that.
You'd be in for a bit of a swim, and then you'd probably be in a different dimension, and that, you know, it's fine.
Okay.
So, when are we going to do that? Like, are we waiting a couple days, or are we gonna like stick it out?
Well, I have to talk to Nim about it in the first place, so I could go back and do that and see how often she can make the trips even. That would be good to know, but
Yeah. I would like to hear back from Demetrius before I leave for another, couple weeks.
well, we don't
be
even
good.
necessarily have to go. There's probably more better things that we can do here. At least I know for
You're
me.
right. You're right. I'm not helpful at all. Won't be able to help at all. Will help more from here. Yes.
Investigate what's happening in the 6th precinct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if the breach exists in both dimensions, someone needs to investigate it in this dimension.
Right. But I think that the people who know the most about the ley lines, which is clearly not us, should be the ones that are observing it directly where the problem is. It just makes sense to me, but I'm not a scientist, so maybe I'm wrong. In any case, I don't know how much more we can accomplish here right now. We have too many questions still, but if you can try to start putting a team together that would be interested in going if it's possible, then we'll figure out the other details and let you know.
Yes, that.
Sure, I will request aid from those who I know are capable and see how quickly they can get.
All right.
All right.
Awesome, you rock. You got this.
Thank you, Corin. I know this is a lot to put on a person.
An actual ley line cut open. Secrets it would hold.
Now you're talking like a mad scientist.
Well, can't let you have all the glory.
I mean, you
Okay, I'm
could.
gonna go now. Have a good time.
Are we going to stop by Nivix and talk to Ral, you think, or?
I think I should, not the
Probably a
least
good
of which
idea.
because it's my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta check in on the regular lab too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll go
You
with.
big. Okay.
If I can, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
I'll say it's bring your sticky-handed friend to work day.
Okay. Kinda looks at her hands and there's syrup on them. Just licks it a little bit.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
Oh, I'll.
It won't be long.
You're also welcome to come with us too.
Okay.
If you want to talk more science.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that. Probably gonna
Um,
be some science talk.
You know, I think I'll just keep an eye on Nim and look out for couriers.
As
Good
we're
luck.
walking and talking
Mm-hmm.
toward Nivix. Hey Marai,
Yes.
so I was trying to make a habitat for Nim in the sewer. And I was
Okay.
reading some books about wildlife. And I read about a creature, and it's really big, and it can't actually swim, but it lives in the water, and it just like breathes in really heavy and out really heavy, and it kind of just runs across the bottom of whatever it's in on two legs and sort of jumps from the floor through the water really fast, and it bites really hard. And have you ever heard of a hippopotamus?
Oh my
Have
god.
I?
Roll me a nature.
All right.
Yeah, it's a Simic invention.
Oh, yeah, Eva told me something about that. You don't want one, do you?
No. But they're not real, right?
I think you might have gotten a few details off, but I believe they're real.
Really? There's like a perceptible worry in her voice.
I mean, they're all safely locked up in Simic territory, so. Of course, this was an old Simic lab that we just left, so.
Okay, so they are not real, or they are?
Well, I've never seen one in real life.
Yeah, me
so.
neither. I don't think they're a real thing. Nothing to worry about.
Morale just shrug. This is fine.
I wonder if I could make a hippopotamus like a CR20 creature and attack you guys with it.
Probably you could. I wouldn't be surprised.
Plans for next session. Hello.
Yay!
Well, why don't we take our break now? Because I need to pee really bad. And we shall reconvene in 10 minutes.
Yes.
can't tell any secrets that we've made.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We
Okay.
won't.
Well, it was mainly Joe singing, I'll make love to you if you want me to.
I've been
Baby, all
practicing.
through the yeah.
I knew
It was really good.
We were just talking about miserable little piles of secrets.
I was sexting. Don't
Okay,
tell my
okay.
mom.
I won't. I'll tell
Gross.
your
Oh
dad.
boy. It's had a large swig of coffee in my mouth at that point. That was too bad.
You were not prepared.
Oh, so like a couple of nights ago, I was just about to go to bed. And like my parents are always joking about how I need to get laid, and like whenever I'm like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna head to bed, they're like, oh, going to bed early, are you expecting company? Bow chicka bow wow, and I'm like, I hate you, you goddamn piece
Wow.
of shit losers.
Oh, jeez.
Like my mom gave me a red light to put in the window for when I have people over. Like
I fucking love your mom. Oh my god.
she's the biggest troll face that ever trolled. So I'm like getting ready for bed, and I hear like footsteps outside my window, and like we have people staying at the farm for like the construction of the new barn. Polish people. So I'm like, one of them might be like looking for something, or whatever. So I open the door. There's not a Polish man outside my door. There are 3 mooses outside my door, which prompts me to go, ah! And the moose to go, ah! And the other moose to go, ah! And the third moose to go, ah! And then we all like scatter in different directions. And I hear because like I've been staying in the basement apartment of my brother, because I had to have people who could check on me every 6 hours. I just moved home today, so I'm finally in my own house.
Yay!
And so I hear my brother upstairs, like getting up from bed and like stomping around, like what the fuck? And what's all this screaming and noises and running around happening? And I'm like, it was just a moose. Oh, 3 moose. I'm going to bed now. Also, this is how my sister-in-law checks on me. Hey, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? Do you need anything? Water? Okay. No pain? Have a good night. This is how my brother checks on me. You dead yet? No. Slam. I mean, I'm very happy that I'm not living in my brother's basement anymore. Because
That's
that was
good.
well,
That
it's
would
not
get
insulated between the 2 floors, so like I can hear whatever they step upstairs. And like yesterday, I hadn't moved down, but no, not yesterday, the day before, but my brother started yelling at my nephews, and I was just like, I need to go hide in my house. So I just spent the entire evening here, and my brother texted me, and he's like, I'm checking on you. Why are you not home? And I'm like, I'm hiding because you were yelling. And it wasn't like cruel yelling. Like they were going to a ski meet, and like the kids were just, loosing ski shoes and like, why are you taking your clothes off? We just put them on. Get ready. Go get in the. Like there's so much yelling when you have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they're all running around upstairs in ski shoes.
the nerve of some people.
And this is like cross-country ski shoes, so they have like a metal bar in the front. It's just, oh god. I'm used to living by myself in a brick house where I literally cannot hear it if there's a hurricane outside, unless it's blowing at the correct angle to hit like the vent on my window. I like the absolute silence.
I'm back.
It's very nice.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, and it's definitely jarring to go from absolute silence to full family of noise.
Waking up at 6:15 every morning because that's when they get up upstairs. Also waking up at 2:15 every morning because that's when my brother has to go pee. Listening to him getting out of bed, walking across the hallway into his bathroom, peeing. Yes, I can hear him peeing. And then flushing the toilet above me.
That BPH.
And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's so stressful. Because, like, I'm used to, like, whenever someone's coming into my house, like, yes, what? Like, a noise means there is an intruder in my house. So, like,
Right.
my stress hormones has been through the roof this week. Because there's always noise.
Good, you're back home then.
And like all the Polish workers have been using like the upstairs bathroom and shit for like toilet break because it's closer to the barn where they're working than where they're living right now. Just... Why are people so loud? And here
Couldn't
I
tell
am
ya.
trying to be like super nice and like barely making a noise to the point where my sister-in-law on Friday texted me and she was like, hey, I haven't heard a noise for the past 48 hours. Like, are you still downstairs or have you moved home early? And I'm like, I'm still downstairs. I'm just a very quiet person, okay? Okay, so what is your plan? You were going to Nivix?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you know the way.
I do. We haven't given Rawl a rundown yet, have we? On what we learned.
Mm-mm.
Nope. He knows
That'll be
nothing.
fun. I mean, how much should I tell him?
Everything.
I mean, if you trust him, yeah, probably everything.
Trust him.
Yeah, he gave you a bag of holding. He's trustworthy.
So trustworthy.
If only trust was bought that easily.
It is when you have -5 wisdom mod.
And you have no insight whatsoever.
Give me a chocolate bar and I'm like, I love you
Yeah.
now.
If I give you this chocolate bar, do you believe that I will not destroy the world?
Yeah.
That seems fair.
But yeah, you can get an audience with Ral fairly easily.
Look at that, moving up in the world.
Whoa!
And give him the like
Give him the
it's probably
rundown.
like a 5-hour rundown with like diagrams and math and like Cordelia is asleep at the love seat in the corner of the room. Just face down in a pillow, snoring as you're like
Look.
discussing the math involved in the end of the universe.
If any ruffians and rapscallions come in, I'm ready to go. Until then, it's nothing.
But at the end of like your explanation, Ral is like, "What do you need from me?"
Well, we need probably some people that can help with the measurements and maybe try to theorize about some solutions. People that
Not
can
goblins.
not
Check.
goblins. People
Preferably.
that could be gone for a period of time. Not that they wouldn't be missed, but you know what I mean. You know, people that are okay with being gone for some time. But also people that we can trust with that type of information. I mean, if something were to go wrong, it could be catastrophic for everybody.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for any ley line experts.
That is true. I'm wondering if we might need to reacquire some expertise outside of the guild.
We've obviously already spoken to Corin, and he was thinking some of the druids, possibly from the Gruul clan, would be good to go with. I think that it's important that we get more than one perspective on the whole situation there. So, I mean, leyline science is great and everything, but maybe so is, you know, druidcraft, or even just like anthropology to some degree.
Yeah, and we need a
Historians.
separate team working here, uncovering where the endpoint is here.
And those two teams need to be able to communicate regularly. Do you think that maybe if Nim was able to take, you know, somebody powerful enough that it would be possible to put up like a gate from one place to the other?
Yes. That would be possible. I mean, it's not the first thing we're gonna do because we need to make sure that the gate in close proximity to Nevix and the endpoint of the ley line in that other place doesn't create problems.
Right, of course. But in order to be able to go back and forth, it would be way more convenient to just be able to do that than to put all of it on poor Nim.
Maybe we could.
What are you thinking?
Well, if we could send someone. If we send Marie.
Mm-hmm.
With the group that's traveling, she would be able to be a firm point of contact between our two states.
Really?
And we could potentially recruit Lyra to oversee the work here. I understand that she is with Lesnia now, but I think a more measured response to the live wire that is currently undisturbed somewhere in the complex here. Not that I don't see the value and respect the Izzet way of doing things, but I think in this instance, blowing things up and looking at measurements later might not be the best.
You may have a point.
Or we could send Sorostro. The two of them have worked together in the past. Most of your father's best work was when he and your mother were working together.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong there?
You're right. Then it's settled. I will send your father with the group traveling and reacquire the talents of your mother to work on here.
Okay. This can't possibly backfire.
No, I think it will work excellently. And with a bit of luck, we might be able to tempt your mother back into the league.
Maybe.
A brilliant mind, wasted on making soft drinks.
She made me, so, I mean, excellent genes. Good upbringing.
You think if we put your mother and father in close proximity, they might create another? That is an unexpected bonus that I wasn't considering. Do you think maybe we could
That's
add
why I'm
some
here.
fertility potion to your mother's?
I'm on it.
Maybe we should have
Excellent.
a control couple with a placebo. So just to balance our project.
Oh my god, you mean this isn't a nightmare?
This friend of yours, the expert in ley lines, we will need to coordinate our efforts.
Of course. He'll be contacting me soon, I hope. He's gone to look for help, but I will get him in touch with you.
Excellent, excellent. So, with him and your father, and a team of skilled workers on that side, and your mother, and maybe your old lab partner, Luca, would be able to lend his hand this side.
Yeah. He's
And we'll organize a full crew. 24 people on either side. That way they could have enough people so that they could cover 24-hour shifts.
sounds
And
good.
say 2 weeks to acquire as much data as possible. And seeing how far we get with that data over the course of that time. If this has been happening for 80 years, I think any shorter time than that will, well, we won't have enough variance to know how the rift is supposed to operate.
So that's a good point.
And what about you? Do you want to join either of the crews?
Well, we've already been to the other side. To get a more complete picture for my own benefit, I thought if we investigated here, at least initially,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something will occur to me or to us.
That sounds like a plan. Well, I believe we should. I'll have some files brought to your office, and with potential candidates, and you can sort through them at your leisure. And as soon as you've picked your 48 candidates, we'll get started.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Seem to be necessary, be warranted.
And with Niv Mazet being well, we will need to uncover any loose threads his departure might have left behind.
True. Sure. He doesn't have 10,000 years worth of projects that just haven't been getting any attention. I'm sure that's fine.
I see you catch my point. Well, no time like the present. Let us get started. Oh, was there anything else you wanted?
Nah. I assume we'll have adequate resources at our disposal for.
Of course. Whatever you need.
Alright, then as soon as I receive the HR documents, I will hire a crack team and we will solve this.
Easy peasy. And yeah, like when you get to your office, there's already like probably like 200 folders on your desk with like names and details of various researchers. Within is it?
That's fair. I think I'd quietly. Well. No, I think Mariah would think that she could do this herself.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your plan going forward? Because, like, there is shit happening in Precinct 6.
There is.
And Cordelia's boyfriend is there. And Planeswalker shenanigans are there.
Yes.
Is that what you're planning to explore, or are you planning to, like...
Yes.
I think the planeswalkers, all that bulloggery is a good thing to go for now.
Yeah.
And like because this might take a while to actually be unraveled, so we can't really do much about it right now.
Yeah. So, we're going to be operating from the assumption that Project Leyline is running along in the background as you guys are doing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, super smoothly, no issue.
Yeah, I'll make some rolls. We'll see how they do.
Yes. Natural one, natural one, natural one, natural one.
I mean, that's the reason why I put like 40 people on it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, 40
So you
natural
can
one.
really defy all probability
odds,
and
yeah.
roll 48
Yeah.
ones.
Well... Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I made a crack team. They're on it. Julie, do the thing.
Well, that is perfectly average roll. Oh, see,
Mhm.
now we're getting somewhere.
Cordelia, did you know that in the book that I read, it said that hippos will bleed, sweat, they sweat blood? But it isn't really blood.
What is it?
It's like, I don't know, it looks like blood. It's like an oily red thing. And they lay on the beach.
That sounds completely natural. Have you ever seen one?
No, they're not real.
Well, then why are there
Leroy
books
goes like,
written about?
Well, it's like a monster from a story. But it's pretty much like the scariest thing I ever heard of in my whole life.
Okay, but like Callisto, we fought trash monsters and corpse monsters. Like, I'm not.
It runs
saying
faster than a
that they-
person.
How big is it?
Like, huge. They weigh like 4,000 pounds.
So it's like a subspecies of dragon.
Yeah, but only way
They're-
scarier. They have
They're an
tusks.
artiodactyl, technically.
What?
They have what? They have wings?
No,
that can't be right. They're not pterodactyl. Hold on.
they're from the order of Artiodactyla.
What is that? A cult?
Oh my god, it's a cult of pterodactyls!
You guys know nothing of genus classification, do you? Forget I said anything. Go back
think
to
that-
the
I
Hippopotami.
get that you're really
real.
smart and all that.
Some of
but
us
I
have
don't think
classified.
You can classify people as geniuses, okay? You can't tier it like
Did
that.
she say genius? I thought she said penises.
She probably has penis on the brain.
That sounds painful.
You saw the way they were making eyes at each other.
Give Skull
Go
fucking
get eaten by a
whole
hippopotamus.
Alright, we have so much time.
I'm saying this only because you're both annoying me. Hippopotami are real.
Can
And
you,
I
They
think
live.
one might be on the loose because Ava told me in the Simic, that's where they're from. And she told me one escaped recently, so we'll see
Has
if we run into it.
Anyone slayed a hippopotamus?
I mean, probably.
Oh, so you don't know.
No, but
it's
we
not
can
nice
make...
to play a trick on people and try to make them scared. Not that I'm afraid.
Callista. If we found a hippopotamus, we would be the first
To get eaten.
slay it. No, to slay it, to kill the beast. We would be famous. People would write songs about it.
Like, I would definitely go with the great northern hippopotamus. Like, they're extinct now, but they were the largest.
I don't think I would want to do that. People could write a song about me for a lot of reasons. But not that one, because I would just run away. Even though it wouldn't do me any good, because it's faster than me and it could catch me and eat me anyway.
Okay, Khalees, you also, you tamed a hydra. You could be the
Oh yeah,
hippopotamus.
noodles.
Did Calista tame that Hydra, or did the Hydra tame Calista?
Jura's out.
For the sense of this argument, Callista tamed the hydra.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, a fun fact about hippopotamuses is that though they resemble other terrestrial even-toed ungulates, they're actually more closely related to cetaceans, like whales.
What is a whale?
They're in the zonates. which I suppose you've never visited.
We've had zonelets before.
I read somewhere that hippopotamuses will only bond with young tiefling girls. But they have to sing to them in the form of a holiday song.
Well, if that's true, then maybe we have a chance.
We just have to find the song.
I'll give it some thought. All of this is we're walking to Precinct 6, I take.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe Sahili can help us with our problem.
Yeah. And I think, because, like, here's the thing. I had no idea what you were planning to do at the onset of this session.
Neither did we.
So
It's
now
okay.
I know, but I think we're gonna wrap it up early this time, because then I can actually prep for the season 6
Fair.
mission.
That's
Okay.
Cause there's some shit that's about to go down with Cordelia's boyfriend and the Planeswalkers and some other shit.
Also, we have to choose between. Well, Cordelia's boyfriend is dead then.
Well, Cordelia's boyfriend is investigating the Planeswalkers in Precinct 6. So, like, you will probably run afoul with him at some point.
Probably.
Does he, like my old boyfriend, have a like Pepe Sylvia board to the Planeswalkers?
No.
See, that's amateur hour.
Dewey level.
Because he
Oh, yeah.
doesn't know what a pepper
Wait,
Sylvia
I want to
board
use
is,
my natural
and
20.
No, you don't level. Like, we will pick up and it will still be the same day.
Same day.
Okay.
So, like, it'll be the afternoon, but it will be the same day. But, you know, Precinct 6 is one of those, like, it doesn't really awaken until nightfall, because it's, like, the slum trash district where all the bad people live. So,
I live there.
Yeah.
that's
Wait,
when the fun
Demetrius and
starts.
I used to go on dates back when we were hiding our relation.
Yeah, you're